So what if money isn't just about the numbers you see in your bank account? What if it's actually an energy, a current that flows directly from who we are on the inside? Today, we're going to dive into this pretty radical idea, and we'll do it by following an incredible journey from the absolute heights of global finance to the very core of what wealth really means.
Wow. I mean, that really sets the stage, doesn't it? We all had this image of the super rich living these perfect, carefree lives, but what if the reality is more like a golden cage, filled with anxiety? That paradox is exactly what we're exploring today.
And our story starts exactly where you'd think it would, inside the exclusive, high-stakes world of international private banking.
Okay, so our guide on this wild journey is a man named Rafael. For years, his entire job was to manage, protect, and of course, grow the massive fortunes of some of the wealthiest people on the entire planet.
You'd think these clients would be kicking back, enjoying life, right? Nope. These were the kinds of questions that absolutely consumed them. They weren't enjoying their money. They were paralyzed by the fear of losing it. Fear of the future, fear of what happens when they're gone. It's a huge contradiction.
Yeah, his job wasn't just about crunching numbers and looking at portfolios. As he puts it himself, he felt more like a pastor or a psychologist. He basically became a caretaker for all the emotional and spiritual turmoil that was completely tied up in their money.
But, before he started seeing all the cracks in this shiny world, Kosciuszko was a master of the game. He built this incredible globe-trotting career, chasing one massive deal after another. And I mean, his journey was a total whirlwind. He started in Ecuador back in '75, then moved on to Venezuela, and eventually landed in the high-stakes financial playground of Miami in the mid-90s. This guy was a true international player. And he was not playing for small stakes. We are talking about deals worth 10, 50, even $100 million. That was just the air he breathed. A world where these astronomical sums were just, part of the daily conversation. He actually said he felt like a king of the universe during this time. And why wouldn't he? He had the power, the success, that flashy Miami lifestyle. Everything the world tells you is supposed to make you happy.
But here's the turn. After seeing all the emptiness in his clients, he started to see it in his own life too. He had to ask himself, was all of this external, material success actually creating a rich, fulfilling life on the inside?
And right as he's wrestling with that huge question, well, let's just say the universe gave him a very dramatic and very painful answer. This was the moment everything changed.
It happened so fast. First, he's at the peak of his ambition, launching his very own investment fund. But then, boom, a perfect storm hits. The dot-com bubble bursts, shaking the markets to their core. Then, the absolute shock of 9/11 brings the entire global financial system to a halt. By 2002, it was over. The fund was gone, and he had to leave his Miami life behind, returning to Germany completely broke. He'd lost everything.
But here's where the story gets really incredible. In the middle of this total collapse, an older Cuban woman in Miami gives him this prophecy. She tells him his failure isn't the end, it's a new beginning. His real mission was to unite money with spirit. And that one idea, right there, would change the entire course of his life. So, stripped of absolutely everything he thought defined him, he started this period of really deep reflection. And out of the ashes of his old life, a brand new philosophy began to take shape. He essentially flipped his entire view of money on its head. He moved away from that old view, that money is all about power and status, something you hoard out of fear, and he embraced this new idea, that money is just energy. It's meant to flow. It's a tool to be used with joy, focused on making a positive impact, not just piling it up. And this new philosophy really boils down to two core principles. The first, Reichtum begins innen, which means wealth begins within. And the second, Geld folgt den Geist, or money follows the spirit. The idea is that your outer financial world is really just a mirror of your inner world.
So what is money in spirit? Well, think of it this way. The philosophy says your bank account is a direct reflection of your inner state. If your mind is full of scarcity and fear, your finances are going to show that. But if you can cultivate a spirit of abundance, of joy, of purpose, then money will naturally flow towards you.
Okay, so you have this massive, life-changing revelation. What do you do with it? You definitely don't keep it to yourself. Kosciuszko turned his own personal crash into a very public mission. He founded the Health and Wealth Institute, and his goal was huge, to help people heal their broken relationship with money.
He went from being a banker for the super-rich few to becoming a guide for the many who are searching for a better way. And the ultimate vision here is what he calls das fröhliche Geld, which translates to happy money. I mean, how great is that? The whole goal is to transform money from this thing that causes stress and anxiety into a source of ease and joy and positive creation.
So let's break down the key takeaways. First, real wealth is a balance between what's going on inside you and what you have on the outside. Second, we're not owners of wealth. We're just temporary trustees or caretakers. Third, its highest purpose is to make life better. And maybe the most powerful one, we can all print our own money, just by developing the unique talents we already have inside us.
You know, this Ralph Waldo Emerson quote, which he features in his work, just perfectly captures the whole idea. All your past failures, all your future worries, they're nothing compared to the immense potential for wealth, both spiritual and material, that is already right there inside you.
And so, that leaves us with a final, really powerful question to think about. If we accept this idea that money is a form of energy, a direct extension of our own spirit, what is your energy creating in the world?